I am Brad Chester, the youngest man in 40K, tallest, best hair, probably the least amount of gray hair, and I've got some scrubs with me tonight. Studs and scrubs? Stealing the Canadian stuff. Introduce yourself, gentlemen.
I am Thomas Ogden, the skinniest person in 40K.
And I'm Brian Horton, the youngest of the oldest people in 40K.
Love everything about that. Dudes, we had a wild weekend. Pew pew! Stuff happened.
Very wild, actually.
I mean, we had 13 different factions winners over 13 GTs. Like, as of right now, you can effectively take everything and just win a GT. The meta is wide open.
Wide open.
Yeah, I love all of the things about this. The meta's so wide that it blocks the Grand Canyon. Meta's so wide it goes to the car wash to take a shower. Meta's so wide it takes a separate plane to the event.
This is probably the healthiest the meta has been in the last 6 years.
Oh, easily. And there's certain things that need tweaks, but I'm deathly afraid to have any tweaks be done because I don't want to have the meta be jacked up at all. You know what I mean? So I'm super afraid that if we do anything to anything, that it's just going to make this weird domino effect. And all of a sudden, Imperial fists win every game. Oh man, those fists and their rule of tyranny.
I don't know. It was nice to see a lot of healthy meta with the variety that picked up victories. It just shows you that sometimes balanced data slates combined with 100 books help work out.
You have just a lot of options right now. I think it's a very fun time to be playing. I like complexity and diversity. I mean, I played two tournaments in a row. I didn't play this week, but last week I played Shiloh, then I played Cherokee, and I played a different faction every game. It was fantastic. Played 14 games and played just a bunch of different shit. It was great. I just like it. I mean, you can win with so many different things right now. And I'm wondering how it's going to be once we start hitting the GW events, because it is a different meta for the GW events because it does favor the melee armies a little bit more. But before we get into all of that, I do have to go and to answer the Mad Lads question. Brenton, that cow suit is indeed the cow suit that we will have Mr. Thomas Ogden in at Adepticon. He has said that he refuses to purchase it, so everyone, you need to make sure that we get this suit for Tom. And I would say that we probably need to get multiples because we don't want the guy to be cold. He's got to have one for every day, everyone.
No. Agreed to one day. One day.
Yeah,
but here's the thing.
One for each
if
day.
Multiple people get it for him and it shows up, and if at some point maybe he sweats through it, he has to put a fresh one on. Having a backup's not a bad deal.
Yeah. And the thing is there's the team tournament is 2 days, Tom.
And if you need the link to buy it, I do have the link. Just send me a message and I'll gladly get it to you.
Oh, I mean, I will put it in chat right now. Just send it to me and I will make it in this chat.
I'm not playing the team event actually now. Well, not even making a joke at it, just not playing in a team event.
What's up with that?
2 of the 4 decided that they couldn't go because of work. So I didn't feel like rebuilding the team.
That is a tragedy.
Yeah.
A Greek tragedy, even.
I mean, it just means you got a chance of repeating as a winner this year now.
A chance? You mean quad-peating?
Well, you see, you forget that one of the people on my team was the guy that just beat you at a GT. His name is Stephen Crowley. I don't know if you heard him or not. But we brought our anti-Brad dude in. He's just
anti-Brad tech.
Brad, what team are you playing this round? Okay, Steven, you're on that table over there, bud.
I will have my vengeance. It is good times. So, you're going to be there for the whole weekend then, I'm assuming, at least?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay and hang out with the teams. Probably, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we'll find some other bet and I'll do something funny. But I'll wear the cow suit Saturday, all day Saturday. And
Brad, there's the link for you, by the way.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I'm gonna do singles, and one thing I want to say though before we get too far in talking about the meta, give props to our teammate and boy Nick Rose. Took Gene Stealer Colts down to Houston, Texas, and won the Clutch City GT. So props to him.
Rocking and rolling it. Love everything about it.
That is second or third event back.
This link is too long. It won't let me put the whole thing. God damn it.
Ah.
I don't know how many. He's had a couple events back after his break, but man's on fire.
Oh yeah, he's been crushing since he came back. Out of nowhere, he RKO'd and over everyone.
Yeah, I didn't realize how complicated that army is. Like watching it played in his hands and compared to other people's hands, it's like a totally different army.
Dude, real quick on this because I need to. It broke my brain. Obviously, they said you have to play out every game in no 3D printed bits. What?
Yep. Playing out games, not talking out games at Adepticon, and no 3D printed. Yep.
Yeah, you can't have any 3D printed at all. And conversion is very tight on it. And I think they're allowing some 3D printed. It's weird. You have to
get especially bits. I could see like a whole, full models and whatnot.
Well, a lot of that comes down to I don't remember if it was just before COVID where a guy brought banana custode bikes and it caused all kinds of issues and hatred and problems. So they had to kibosh some of that stuff a while ago.
I mean, that's kind of just a weird. I mean, last year they played 5th edition missions. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're playing them again in teams. They always play the team weird stuff. But the thing on the conversions and the 3D printed bits and stuff like that is they're one of the tournaments that used to push converted models and stuff like that very strongly. You know what I mean? Being creative and doing different things. You had a lot of people that had sculpted minis, and a couple people had ended up sculpting minis for GW. So
I think a lot of it has to do with the partnerships that people have with Games Workshop, and they probably have a little influence over some of their rules, would be my guess. But yeah, it's just.
I get it, but I don't know. If you're using it, remember it used to. What was the rule used to be? I mean, and this was even for GW. Remember when we went to Games Days?
It used to have to be at least 75% GW.
Yeah, that was it. I couldn't remember what the percentage was, but we just had all you had to have was X. The 75%. Of the model just had to be GW, and that was fine. And that was literally at GW Run, the original GTs and the Games Days and stuff like that. That's just weird. I don't know. It's something for me. I have a bias on it just because of the fact that I can't see colors for shit. Is things like conversions I really, really like because I can't tell a lot of the ultimate painting stuff, you know what I mean? Because I can't see the fades into colors and stuff like that. So the conversions is what gets me. Yeah, that's just weird to me. But let's go back meta stuff. We gave props to our boy Nick, crushing GSC. I want to hit that up in that there's been some real differences in the Oceanic and the North America. I was looking at the Reddit and I looked at the stats check and a couple of the others. There's some serious differences between our win rates and Euro and Australia and stuff like that. For instance, they have Dark Angels and Demons winning at about 10% more, which is a huge amount. You know what I mean? When you get up in that than we do. And then we have GSC winning at about that same increase in rate here, which I thought was weird just because of the fact that you saw GSC in Australia way before you saw it resurgence here with Eric bringing in a couple of the other guys doing super well. And then you saw it in their tournament scene and then it just kind of faded away a bit. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I think a big difference between us and over there is terrain. They play a completely different style of terrain than us. And I think their terrain favors out more melee armies or staging armies. And I think because we have things like that, it's it's going to allow a different style to succeed over here. But over here, like, I think the meta is even crazier right now because we technically have 3 different styles of terrain being played right now, and depending which set you're playing in, a different army's favored. So
yeah, and I mean we've gone on the terrain rant a plethora of times, but I do agree with Tom that because we have player placed, GW placed, and then kind of wide open, randomness, it definitely creates things differently, and every area has its play style and its terrain type. I know in the West Coast you see a lot more player placed terrain. On the East Coast there's a heavy mix between player placed and GW. In the Midwest you see a lot of the GW player placed, and I haven't traveled enough to the South to even determine what that is down there.
The South plays a lot of like real player players. They don't play optimized. So you can put a piece of terrain anywhere you want on the board, not just on your half. So you do that before you roll for halves. So you can have tables where it has like all the terrain on one half of the board, and then you're hoping you win that roll off, or you can pick that table half.
That's just wild. That's old school. Adepticon used to do that, dude.
Yep.
You remember that? You just be like, you used to put terrain out, and then you would roll to see what side you got. You're like, sure hope I win this dice roll, or I'm about to be just standing in front of my opponent. Pajamas would always do that shit, by the way. He would just, with his objectives, with his terrain, with all of it, he's like, I'll just win the roll. It's no big deal. I'll just put no terrain on this side, all the objectives on the other side, win the roll, and walk over to the other side. I'm like, why? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, I'll just win it. No big deal.
I mean, did anyone else see the for the upcoming, was it Rocky Top, where they changed the player place terrain rules for FLG?
No.
Forest and crates can now be placed within 4 inches of the board edge.
Board edge, dude. You can literally just go, hey, knights, have fun not coming to this side.
Yeah, that's what the Canadians do. You can, the crates and the craters and the vents.
Dude, that's lockdown for tanks and knights, though.
Yeah, and you can also put them with 1 inch of other pieces of terrain. So when I was at SOS, it took me for some reason like 3 games to get that into my head. And what they do is they'd put like an L where they'd stage everything, and they put the forest right behind her. So if you're still like shooting into there with like indirect stuff that they're trying to hide in their main piece of terrain, you're also getting a -1. I'm like, wow, okay.
Dude, I want to go to the wall real quick about terrain stuff, because a couple of guys were talking about the UKTC, because I think that's what they were playing at Clutch then. I did not watch Clutch. The only thing about UKTC is it has a decent amount of terrain, but the UKTC is set up for long firing arcs, which is why you see a lot of skewed armies when you see the UK events, because they have places to go, but because it's set, UKTC is set per the mission. So you have, in those 2 middle L's, you literally have way open spots if you have a fast moving army. And they also have 2 long lines where you can shoot super crazy far down the entire way. So you see a lot of different armies because of that.
That's why I had to show some people, because when I was talking, we were like, well, UKTC terrain is like way better than ours because there's no fire arcs. I'm like, if you just look at the table like at a slant, they have 2 huge fire arcs that go just like this right down the middle of the table. And armies like Tau, not to have the speed and still have longer range, can abuse it really bad.
Oh, hell yeah. You could shoot the hammerheads all the way downtown. You can just move the crisis suits and the riptide to basically see those 2 middle pieces very easily. I didn't realize it was all 3. Kevin, thanks for giving me that one. I actually like that idea quite a bit. I don't know why we haven't been doing that. They used UK, GW, and FLG layouts. That's awesome. I really think that's awesome, though, because you can't tailor an army specifically for a terrain loadout. So you have to have not only right now, you have to have the most versatile army you've had to have in years. Because 1, you have no idea what faction you're going to play against. And then if you didn't, or you weren't able to tailor it specifically for the terrain, you have to make, I don't know, an army that can play the game no matter what. That sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I think that's part of the reason why the meta is so open, is a mixture of the terrain issues and the fact that there are a lot of viable armies. And if you're focused on that terrain does and you build to it, you can do very, very well. But when you encounter something like, I'll use Du Bois as an example of a huge variety of terrain and a huge vast majority of different tables, you kind of have to be able to take on all comers. Yeah, it's something that I think is a good thing.
Okay, really important though. Guys, Lyle Dixon has finally come on to the stream. So we can start about the real topics now. We've been waiting on you, Lyle. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to start without you, and Brad's like, no. We were gonna wait for Lyle.
I just been counting. Like most of the time, I said what my favorite numbers were. I talked about a little bit about colors.
So it's 7:15, which means the stream will be going on to 8:15 tonight.
Yeah, I love having to build for a super diverse meta, guys. I think it's awesome. It also doesn't get you in that rut. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun playing this year because of the fact that you've seen so many different armies. Like back when we had certain metas where, oh, you can play like these 2 or 3 armies and that's it if you want to win, and just that's all you played. Like the LVO year where I played 6 of 9 games were Iron Hands. I was just like, oh, cool, you're playing Iron Hands. No way. Can't believe it.
What was like Adepticon last year where it was like, oh, look, it's Harlequins, or Harlequins, or Harlequins, or, oh, look, there's Harlequins. Look, there's a random 1 Tau, and then Harlequins.
I played 4 light Harlequins out of my 6 games, or 7 games at Adepticon.
Yeah, that was a lot of... I can still go with that was one of the most boring finals I've ever watched of, you know, like Harlequins just fighting Harlequins. It was just so exciting.
It was also the original Harlequin build was also so boring. It was like watching paint dry. I had multiple friends playing at the end, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this light Harlequin match. What? Sorry, I fell asleep. This is the most boring thing that's ever happened. Oh, I have not. Oh, you have not heard the bonus. I'm gonna read this from Lyle because I forgot we talked about this. Tom, on your cow costume, you also have to wear a cape because you now are nicknamed the Count. COWNT.
You know, I think because I'm going to be a good sport and I want to be a morale booster for the teams, I will wear this cape.
Dude, I feel
the cape. You didn't say anything about the cow outfit.
You were going to have so much accoutrements going on with this cow outfit. You're gonna be like, where's Tom? He's underneath that pile of random stuff. Is that a satellite dish on him?
Count Ogdula is absolutely fantastic.
I'm gonna wear a tuxedo underneath this now.
Just step out of it at the end.
Yes, into a tuxedo
with a cape still.
I'll keep my cape on here.
I've already looked at different like random cape options if I keep playing Space Wolves till we get 10th, because I need a huge woof. I need a huge woof cape. I will literally show up looking like Eddard Stark.
Note, do you guys think we're actually getting 10th
in June?
Or are we going to get 9.5?
I think it's going to be 9.5. I don't think we're going to see Index Hammer.
I do not know. I need to make this statement right now. I have absolutely no insider knowledge whatsoever. None. But
I've watched the 87 different, like Tactical Tortoise put out a big thing. There was a couple other YouTubers, Reddit posts and all this about all different kinds of just variety of, there was no similarity between one post to the other of incoherent babbling of different
if you go historically, you have the fact that this one should be the big change, because we went big change, then you get an addition, then a barely change, a 0.5, and then you get a big change and then a 0.5. You know what I mean? This will be our historic big change.
Well, I was on a call with anonymous source Brad Chester about a couple hours ago, and he told me all the rules coming out. I'm gonna break them all right now. No, I don't have no clue what we're doing. I feel like the way the last couple of codexes were written in like their unique way. Like it was getting away from how they were written codexes at the beginning and the middle of this edition, and I feel like that's going to be like the flavor going forward. I just don't see an index. Like it really feels like all the work and effort they put in these codexes just to delete them in 3 months is just It's a shame. I know we did it to GSC 2 editions ago or edition and a half ago, but this is like multiple codexes. Like that's a lot of development time and money and effort that just kind of like, yep, we don't need it anymore.
I just can't imagine.
I don't see it personally. I'm hoping that because the way the meta has shaped right now and with everything the way it's going is I would be very, very happy to have a minor tweak and then continue on with the good trend that they're on right now. Personal opinion.
I don't think we're gonna see an index hammer. There's too many codexes, too many special things releasing. I just think we'll see like Marines 2.0 and the line will be released and some new night stuff, and then we'll go from there.
With the meta being the most diverse it has been in forever, basically almost, and the popularity of the game, I can't see them blowing it up. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, we're making tons of money. Everything's going super right. Click, click, boom, bitches. That seems bad. I mean,
this is the one time where I can go, if they would just look at what Privateer Press did with War Machine, where that game was going phenomenal, and then they blew it up, and everyone got mad and stopped playing. Let's not do that with this game.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. If I'm being honest, it's a tremendous waste of effort and resources to delete all these new codexes. And the thing is, they put so much effort into this edition with like the Warhammer world and stuff like that, and Brant trying to make some changes with like the new judges and stuff like, and the new rules and what they're trying to do things. It just feels like it'd be all for nothing. And if they did that, Games Workshop would be the dumbest organization I've ever seen. Like millions of dollars just wasted down the drain.
And in my grand opinion, I think because of the way they've got their season structured this year, with their end all being in November, why would they risk a massive change in the middle of the season? It just wouldn't make sense to me. But that's, it's me, and I'm a schlub, but I really think that it's not set to go that way.
And plus, like I said at the beginning, like all the stuff that Brad was going over with me earlier in the phone call, like all the new rules.
You like, motherfucker.
Never lied to me. Brad Chester has never lied to me when he told me advanced rules and knowledges before. So I believe him. Brad told me nothing. It was
right. So Brad, that was they were bringing back THACO, right? That's what we needed.
THACO's coming back.
Right. All right, good enough.
I'm in on it, baby. I've been pushing for a long time. Like, guys, THACO is the way to go. And all of you old D&D players are like, no one else is getting this, you idiots.
I think the only thing that Brad told me I don't really like is they're bringing like templates back. That seems kind of weird choice, but.
So I'm going to go to Cal here on this because there's a lot of talk about reactionary nerf based on term results. Is there something that could happen, or do you think GW is busy with upcoming results? I don't think, especially with the fact that the meta is very, very healthy right now with all different factions winning, especially over the weekend and a ton winning last weekend, the last 3 weeks, to be honest with you. But I don't think they were going to change that much stuff anyways, because of the fact that if you know that you're doing at least a soft reset in the summer, are you really going to try hard to fix anything if it's not that broke?
We have Alan telling us that he knows for a fact it's the reset button. I don't know, broski. It feels like they take a huge risk. This is their first time they're trying to do like a really big world championship. If they change it a few months before it and screws up the meta, like it just tanks the legitimacy of that event going forward.
Let alone like if they change the game that massively in the middle of the season, with all the stuff that's currently done by TOs, by them, by FLG and everybody else. Talk about if they do a massive reset like they did when they went from 7th to 8th, which was a huge change. Terrain had to change massively overnight, and it was really tough to adjust as a TO. I can say that for sure, that it was just like, whoa, wait, abrupt change. Wow, got to make lots of line of sight blocking, got to do lots of this, lots of that. That would be a lot for an undertaking, just even from Games Workshop side of things, to get everything up to spec. Even if they knew it was coming, it's a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have the logistics to get stuff out. Because, I mean, think about the stuff they're releasing right now. You can't even get those models, dude. You know what I mean? So, like, a full reset feels like they couldn't even sell the shit that they would be trying to put out.
Except you can get Super Crack Johnny 5.
Super Crack Johnny 5, baby.
No care. The season's already started. They've already been issuing golden tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the fact that they haven't posted half of their stuff. If you go to like ITC rankings, like so many of the tournaments don't have anything.
You know, that's a good thing. Have you guys seen everyone like struggling to get their stuff posted and accepted through ITC right now?
Yeah, everybody's been telling me that they've had all kinds of issues with it.
Number one, everyone hasn't gotten used to. It used to be that you always requested your tokens through the app. You have to email FLG now to get your tokens approved, and I know that they're behind on issuing tokens, or at least last I knew. I'm sure they'll get caught up soon. It's a big undertaking to start the new season.
I gotcha. Also, real quick, while we're getting ready to hit our halfway point to the episode, guys, if you're watching and you enjoy it, please give us some likes, and if you haven't subscribe, please. Brand new show. We've been really pushing it, trying to get a lot of new content stuff out there for you guys. Get some good growth, but if you can keep helping us grow, we'd appreciate you guys.
Don't be afraid to go to our Patreon. I gotta buy those noodles somehow. Ramen for life. Also, I had a super angry wife over the weekend. Friday night, Saturday morning, my furnace broke, and we just woke up to just going cold, and Britt literally looked at me like I was the one that went downstairs and kicked it to break or something. She's just staring at me with a death stare. I'm like, I didn't make you cold, bitch. She's like, ah.
I was like, see, that's what you get for being home on a weekend, Brad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. More likes equal more cow suits. If there's ever been a reason to like and subscribe, it is more cow suits. You can never have enough cow suits.
Robert, you should still go to MCM because you've seen what we do. If you go to us, you're still guaranteed an amazing event.
It's good times. I have actually. I decided I'm going to go out to San Diego for the Xenos Petting Zoo San Diego event in the fall.
Did
Nice.
you get a ticket because they sold out?
Yes, I did. I was one of the first people to get a ticket.
Nice.
I just happened to randomly be on when they said to go get a ticket. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an adult and buy a ticket for a change. It was weird. I didn't know you could just click
you
through.
You actually got the ticket?
Yeah. It's one of
You have a hotel room yet?
Oh, no. Oh, whoa.
I was trying to go for the full adult.
I was pretty excited that I bought a ticket.
The plane ticket, and then I was going to.
No, that's just
Brad, did you see the 2 trophies I ordered for the Invitational?
I did not.
I just put it in our chat.
Let's see this.
Put them on the stream.
Are these heavyweight championship belts?
Yes. Put them on the stream.
Give me just a moment. These are definitely going on the stream. This is amazing. I don't even know what to say now. Those are so cool.
Michael Exposy is an amazing group of guys. Play a lot with them, practice with them. Love those dudes. Their captain, Steven, is one of the coolest people I've ever met. So super excited to see that their event sold out year one. And, got a couple DOG guys going out there. So I think it's going to be a great time. I unfortunately am not able to go because they chose November, and that's Black Friday month. Being a DM for T-Mobile, November is like a no-go month for me to travel.
I love the fact that there's cows in the back of these. I can't even tell you how I'm winning this tournament because I need to have one of these belts. This is happening.
I am trying so hard to get someone else to run my RTT locally so I can go to the Invitational.
Oh, you just need to go. You just need to change the date.
Yeah,
you have.
You just might
Yeah,
drop. You just
work related. Can't quite change the date, but I might be able to.
You just get a
con one of the
guy.
guys into it.
You just get a guy, and he wears a Brian suit. Brian suit. You just got to get a dude with a Brian suit. It's all good.
Oh, there's the belt on the stream.
So
that is the Master Artisan belt. That is the one for the top hobby player. So what we're doing for the Invitational, I'm going to do all the paint judging because I think I'm like really fair about paint judging.
I'm going to get Tom so wrecked, and I'm going to convince him how my painting is the best.
Well, you only win one of the two belts, and the other one's the one for best general. But that one, so what we're doing is that I'm picking 6 people that score the highest on the rubric, and then I'm gonna have all the captains they're all vote together, or all judge together on the artisan. So the 5 who do not win get the artisan trophies, and the one who wins gets the master artisan belt.
Nice.
I love everything about this, and it makes me happy. Hold on, you know what? I'm putting the other one up.
You gotta put the other one. That's the one that you're going after, Brad. Is the gold one.
This is the gold, baby. Emperor's champion, still with more cowbell. Oh, these are so good. We're the bestiest.
All right, Brad. But if you win that, you have to wear it to every event.
Oh, I'll just continue. Actually, it's the same thing with Edison. He goes, "I'm definitely going to wear it during the cast. Wear it at every podcast over my shoulder." And I go, and then I'm going to introduce myself as the current belt holder.
The thing is, I'm not gonna name a name, but remember that tournament we went to, and they give like a belt every year, and that one person would show up like every year with the belt on, and they won it like 4 years ago. And I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. Move on from that.
Oh, dude, if I had a belt, I would definitely do some weird shit. Like, I won a bunch of best generals in 2000 for the GT circuit. If they gave me a belt, I would wear them right now.
I have a belt for the Salt City GT as well. So
23 years ago, you damn whippersnappers didn't have shit on me.
And that's the Emperor's Champion belt. That one goes to the undefeated player of pod number 1.
Oh, that is happening. I love the fact that our literal practice event became a giant event. I have to go back on this because we touched on this, but we haven't really talked about the fact that this was a practice weekend. And Tom was like, well, we shouldn't put it out there for all of DOG to get ready for MCM. You know what I mean? And he's like, I don't know how many people will want to come. Next thing you know, we have a full GT later of a practice weekend that was supposed to be like, I hope we have enough guys to play games. And then we got a GT. I was just like, what?
We're also afraid because we moved it like, it was up north, if you remember. So it was like close to one team and far away from other teams. So what the invitation for people to know is like, it's the DOG teams. We have like 100 members on DOG, and it's spread out amongst like 12 or 13 teams now. And all DOG members are invited, and friends are invited. So far, only one group has been voted that's not invited. That's not DOG so far, and that's Anna's group, Valkyrie Gaming. Those guys and girls are fantastic. But it's a private event that we have friends and teammates, and it is like the most relaxed but serious games. It was my favorite event last year. It's a lot of fun. It's so relaxed that we don't have any TOs on staff, like, because there's all of our TOs are there playing. So like the rule is, if you need a judge, which I don't think we had a single judge call last year, but if you need a judge, you just, one of the TOs that's not involved in your game will come over and make a ruling. But you definitely have to go to MCM, Robert. Our event's insane. We give away way more prize support. Our trophies this year, by the way, the trophies are way upgraded. Probably next stream, next show, or the one after, I'll have some of the trophies ready to show.
Guys, we have a fully functional Lehman Russ tank. Okay.
And thank you. Everything you do for the community and how you help us out is the reason we give you the call out. It's not because we're trying to honor you. You honor us with your help. You well deserved. So there's a reason why Valkyrie is the first team that got invited. It's not DOG. In fact, you guys got invited the same weekend tickets went live. So that means we look at you guys like you are family. So thank you guys. Time Lock, we love you guys as well.
I just want you to know that I got a message from Crawley which just shows a screenshot of the ITC rankings with him number 1. And underneath it is a quote that says, "Are you proud of me, Dad?" Good times. Oh, good times.
I was at MCM last year. I'm glad you're coming back, bud. We want you back.
MCM is going to be number one. MCM was absolutely a ton of fun last year, but it's a really good event and well run, well put together. It's going to be a good time.
Watchers, your group is actually one of 2 groups that's about to receive an invite for the event. Just FYI. Anna's just been, her and her team has been supporting us since day 1. They've been to all our big events. They hang out with us when we're at events, even for traveling out of state for events that's not ours. They hang out with us. It would have been weird for us not to give an invite when the teams are. It's our way of showing that we picture them as DOG without wearing the brand. So, but you guys will be receiving an invite in like a day or 2.
Yes. You know, I don't believe KR on this. He said for 3 years now, he's like, I've got family up in the Detroit area, Michigan. I haven't been up there, and I'm going to show up. And he keeps saying this, but I see no Westerners showing up here.
I mean, KR definitely should go as well. Upgraded new venue. It's going to be a lot of good things going on. Tickets are live. So we really put our money where our mouth is. We invested a lot more money this year to try and upgrade the event because we outgrew where we were at before for our first few years. But and not too much talking about our events. Let's get back to the theme, guys. Let's talk about the meta. That's what people want to hear us talk about. Our takes on it. So Brad, real quick, while we're getting back on topic, you've seen these events this last weekend. Give us. It's a Nova, yes, there. Give us your top 3 factions right now.
Oh, that's hard, man. I still think the Guard is at the top, depending on the terrain. It's just so powerful and so diverse with what it can do, because you take 40 or 50 bros, 30 casterkins, decent amount of tanks, 9 mortars, and you have the answer to everything. So I don't even know if it's oppressive or not. I just think it's the best.
The one thing is there was an event it was on the West Coast somewhere. I think it was in California or Texas, where I think it was in California actually, because I think Steven from XPZ actually was telling me about it. There was like 70% of the meta there was Guard, and there was a few armies that was just taken out because apparently according to Steven, the Guard were struggling to take on mass Marine bodies like Black Templar, which won the event. So
I can see that, but the thing is that I think that Guard at the highest level is devastating. It's the problem is it does very well even with someone that's fairly less experienced. But I think that when you get somebody that's piloting that at the top level, it just has answers for everything. I don't think it's just straight oppressive on it. But if you're playing that army and you know it inside and out and you're a strong player with that, you just have bodies, you have damage, you have great secondaries. So it's hard for me not to say that they're an army that can take on pretty much anything.
Garrett won
Cag Bash. Oh yeah, congratulations to Garrett.
Oh, Garrett, you won Cag Bash? Is that a big GT?
Yeah, it had a decent amount of people this year. What did Cag Bash have this year? Cag Bash, 56 players. Winning with Death Guard. Because, I forgot to mention, one of us in chat, cough, cough, Garrett, watchers, lost his mind and sold every single army he has except for Chaos. So he's now out of nowhere the Chaos guy. We touched on that 2 weeks ago, but I'm just like, what? Why? He's like, sometimes shit happens. I'm like, that's not an answer, man. That's just crazy talk.
Well, that's not a small event, Garrett. 56 actually qualifies as a major. So that's not even a GT. That's a major. So congratulations. You should be proud of that.
Absolutely.
Especially with Death Guard. So props to you, brother. And maybe we should get you on a show soon and have you talk to us about how you won with Death Guard.
I'm going to say that I think the KR might be close to my heart on what I think are my top 3. I would go Guard, GSC, DA in no particular order, to be honest.
So, Tom, what are your top 3 right now?
I think Guard, GSC, and Space Wolves.
Leave my Space Wolves out of there. I don't want anybody touching them until I'm done with them.
So I firmly believe it's Space Wolves, GSC, and Dark Angels, and Guard in a very, very close making that top 3.
What was your first one?
GSC, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. I think I'm not going to put them in a particular order because I think they're all fairly equal. And I think Guard is really close. I mean, if you wanted to say there's top 4, those are the top 4. From there, it's going to be changed up. But I think right now anything can win. I just think it's all matchup dependent. And because there's such a wide variety of armories and there's no head and shoulders above everyone else build, you can go in, counter, try some new stuff, and it might surprise people and catch them off guard. I actually think World Eaters, once the hobby lag of them catches up, may even creep up into the top 5.
I like Dark Angels, don't get me wrong. I think Ravenwing are stronger than Deathwing, and but everyone seems to be on this Deathwing kick, and I just feel like if you understand the army mechanics and you're not dying from your body breaking down, you can beat them. Like
Steven beat me so bad I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah. I just feel like, I like the army. I think it's a strong army, but there's a lot of things that lacks. You get rid of the Talon Master or the Rights of War, or unless you're going full Terminators, and then you don't need Rights of War. But then you're just slow. And then you can't do the deep trick shenanigans and try to get within 9 inches and pop the.
Depends on the mission still too, man. It's tough for them to play the spread.
Yeah.
Deathwing's so easy to hobby though. Anna's got a big thing on that. I said that earlier. It's just if you're looking for an army, you can flip a Deathwing Terminator armory like right now. You're like, hey man, what are these? Black. Like there you go. Terminators done.
I think Ravenwing is more fun, and I think it's stronger overall. Like, I just don't know what Deathwing does to an army that has like a lot of shots or a lot of ways shenanigans on the objectives. Like, I think GSC beats Deathwing. I think Guard beats Deathwing. I think Space Wolves, who don't throw in their character and multiple charges, let them get interrupts and lose one for free, beats Dark Angel.
Sometimes it sounds like a targeted attack, Tom.
I feel targeted.
Sounds not targeted.
I'm not targeting anyone. I just feel like if a Space Wolf player doesn't make bad decisions and decides not to have a health crisis in the middle of the game, they have a decent chance of winning,
I love when Joe was yelling at me about it. Also, Eloise was literally yelling at Brandon to get me drugs or to make me stop playing, which was hilarious. Thank you, Mom.
I literally messaged like 4 DOG. I was like, guys, take him either a Dr. Coke or a water right now. And they're like, he won't let us. I said, you just do it. Just do it. You have a choice. You can either fight him when he's dying or you can fight me when you get back. So you choose. They're like, okay.
Oh, I want to know this. So how's Breton and Tom going to do at Adepticon? They're going to do amazing because they crush. What are the differences in their lists? Breton's right now is hemming and hawing on basically whether he's taking Farsight or Tau. So I think that you're still going to bring... Are you going to bring Guard or are you going to bring Tau set?
I was going to tell you, the difference between me and Breton is that he's playing Tau and I'm playing Guard.
Pew-pew?
Let me tell you a little bit about Breton. I love that man to death. He's one of my best friends. But he looked at me and says, my Tau don't lose the Guard. And I broke him in 2 at the RTT this last weekend.
Did you come off the top ring rope?
I mean, he was gone. There was like no models left in 2 turns. So,
I like how Tom was super low key when we were doing our top 3s about Guard and stuff. He's like, I think they're all right. What are you playing, Tom? Guard.
I definitely don't think they're the strongest army, but I'm gonna play them. They only have like a 50% win right now. I think they're busted. Born Soldiers, absolutely. I love Born Soldiers. I love it when people try talking about playing on. Oh, there is Breton. He's back.
The mad lad.
Yeah.
I think the Farsight I still think this, and you didn't agree with me, but I think Tau Sept has more consistency, and I think Farsight gives you more play options.
I think the damage output Tau Sept way outweighs Farsight. And I think Breton needs to go, and I've told this multiple times and he doesn't listen to me. Go back to what you did at SOS because you played some of the best games I've ever seen you played. You immediately altered from the next tournament to a different list. And then he went like, it was his first time I've seen him have a losing record. He's like, I don't know what I did differently. Go back to the list you're running that you enjoyed. That's what you did differently. Go back to that list, bro. That was a great.
A lot of people have asked me what I'm going to be running. I'm going to my first GT of the season. They're like, "What are you going to run? What are you going to run?" And I'm like, "I've been building models and putting some stuff together and wanting to try other stuff, but I know in my heart that what I'm good at is running Tyranids. So I'm probably going to end up running Tyranids. But I really want to try something else because I played those all last season."
That's the reason why I'm off Tau. Like honestly, I played every single game last season. Played nothing but Tau, even practice games, even friendly games, pickup games. Everything was just Tau. And guard lets me play the style I really enjoy, and it's just full forward, and I want to kill your models. Like, even Brett was like, what the hell? I just drove my tanks. I was like, all right, cool, I can't see you. I'm taking order where I get to just advance and shoot and see if I can roll high enough and shoot you. If not, you got to deal with my tanks in the middle. Like, let's do this. Like,
I like to hit your tanks on the edges. That's better.
Yeah. No. I don't do that. Don't do that. Speaking of which, real quick though, I've had a lot of people ask me this, and you've been kind of disappeared for a couple of days, Brad. What is the future for Brad Chester? What is the army he's going to be playing the next event?
Probably Space. It's going to be Space Wolves for a couple events. I had a really good time playing them. They have so much jank. I love Space Wolf fluff. Also, it's so they're literally a biker gang of just morons that just do dumb shit and get into dude. Their tactics are awful, but they always work out for them. They're literally the Roadrunner of 40K. They just do it dumb shit. They're like, "What'll probably work out, guys? Let's do this." Woo!
Like the thing as well. The reason why I don't put guard as the best faction out there is I think they have a hard matchup into Space Wolves because they're like, listen, I bring Melta on everyone. Like, I got Melta pistols, except we bring oversized pistols. So it's like a regular Melta. It's like shoots twice as far as a regular Melta gun, and everyone has one. And if that doesn't kill you, then I'm gonna come up and hit you with my hammer. It's gonna be a great time. And if you kill me, I'm gonna swing at you with my hammer still. It's gonna be a great time. Like, the army's super strong. I think it has a lot of play. I think when it's in the hand of someone like you, Brad, it's an absolutely dangerous army. That's why I don't put guard up top. But it's kind of weird. Like, in my mind, it makes guard not be number one. It makes them number two. But at the same time, in my mind, Space Wolves are not number one. They're up there. They're number three. I think GSC, like, especially when we watched Nick Rose this last weekend, the dude played out his mind.
GSC is so good.
Like, he played all the top players there, and he just won. Like, not just won. Like, he would message me like, "Yeah, I won in 2 rounds." I'm like consistently. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm telling him, "You're playing this guy. He's a really good guy." He's like, "All right, cool. I'm excited for it." 45 minutes are, "Yep, yeah." He quit after 2 rounds. I'm like, "All right, cool." Like,
and Rose has been going hard in the paint with his GSC. Yeah. You're like, "Hey man, you can play this and you can do all these tricksy things." He's like, "Or I could dominate the entire board." You're like, "Oh Jesus."
All your objectives belong to me. That's like great. You're like, I love it too. He like moves his army up, and then he has a 5-up invuln, 5-up in pain, and he wants you to kill models. That way he revives them and then sneaks on your objectives and takes them from you. It's like hilariously great. It's like, but
so what does everybody think about? I mean, World Eaters is just kind of hit, and Hobby Lag is a real thing of getting them on the tabletop. What does everybody think of them going into the meta? Do they think they have enough tools?
I think they do. I'm playing them at Adepticon teams. And I'm playing World Eaters for Adepticon teams. I convinced the boys. We literally came off guard to go to World Eaters because they also have theme and comp, of course, there. But I think they have a huge amount of play as long as you're playing them, not just YOLO swaggins forward. Because they take the board really well. They do all the things that Blood Angels did. And I think they probably do them better. You know what I mean? They have 2 great secondaries, like crazy secondaries. They have pregame moves. And they have shenanigans. They can come in on turn 1 with some of the guys for reserves. They have like they have more complexity than you think from an army that doesn't shoot, So I don't think that they're at the top, but I definitely think that they're 100% an army you could win a GT with.
2 things real quick. One, guys, not to say it again, not to be a dead horse, but give it, if you're watching a stream, and we got a lot of people on right now, if you give us some thumbs up, some likes, it helps us out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, please give us a subscribe. And also, if you like being part of the community, we got a fantastic Patreon. Oh, there's the night about actually advertising as I'm saying it. Got a fantastic community where you have access to coaches and all the time, 24/7. And that Patreon goes directly to Brad's food bank. It's getting towards the beginning of the month, so we just start over. His cupboards are bare right now, so if we can give him some money, let the man eat.
Ham sandwich and services.
Do you remember at ACO year and a half ago, Brad comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, I will do whatever you need me to do, just for like a half sandwich, like especially with the ham and cheese sandwich. I mean, you got the cheese on there with it, like literally nothing's off the table." And,
and then I brought Brad an entire sandwich.
I was so excited. Well, this is happy. Also, I have to throw this out there. I love the fact that my screen name on everything is either Brad or just Brad Chester. And then I look down at chat and go, Ian, Destroyer of Worlds. I'm like, I got one up a little bit there.
Hey, Brad does take EDP, 100%. Anything food stamps, mail it to him.
Oh, you give it. If it's a something, I'll take it. You're like, Brad, I'll take Prussian francs right now. I'll figure out a way to trade those in.
Yeah. Brad lives in Toledo. Of course it takes ETV. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing I wanted to talk about, Brad mentioned, I've totally forgotten until now, was playing him in the game on the RTT. We've always said we've seen bad dice rolls. I've never seen it. It was so bad. I was like, all right, Brad, just don't even count that. Just re-roll all your dice again, please. And it was even somehow got worse.
Re-roll all your dice.
I said re-roll all your dice. I was like, all right, cool. I took his dice and said, put your dice back in the bag. This is a true story. You can ask him in chat. I was like, put your dice back in the bag. I hand him some of my dice and rolled even worse. I'm like, dude, you know what? Don't touch my dice anymore. I'll be right back. I went over, bought a new box of dice, and just use his dice for the rest of the game, please. Like, literally his dice was so bad that I left our game and bought him new dice. I said, throw your old dice away. Just don't.
Dude, I want to go to Lyle's question on this, because the KR thought it was Custodes, but Lyle's question was, is there any army that has play into every army out there anymore? And I think that there's a lot of armies that actually can play into anything. I think Guard can play into everything. I do think that Wolves can play into everything. I agree with KR on the fact that Custodes have play into everything. The only thing is that you have to make a lot of decisions right away if you're playing in MSU armies and Horde armies, because you can get stuck pretty quickly. So you have to make good decisions right now. I still think that Hands has enough shooting to basically play into everything, I think.
I disagree with you on Custode. I think they have a horrible matchup in a GSC. I think they have a horrible matchup in the Guard. They don't do good how either. Like, they just have matchups that just, if you have an army that can mass elite shooting and force you to take a lot of 4-ups and get chunked out, it's just bad for them.
It depends on what terrain we're talking about also. I hate to bring that up all the time, but it just doesn't make a huge difference. You know what I mean?
It does.
So
I think GSC, Guard, Iron Hands, and Space Wolves, and even Black Templars, if you do like the vehicle
I would go with any of a lot of the Marines play the same way right now. Like Dark Angels and Iron Hands and all those, like, if you're not talking Terminator spam, they're the same army minus a couple HQs, you know what I mean? So
that would depend, Brandon. Are you talking about what's winning, singles or teams?
Teams is going to be World Eaters, I heard.
Yeah, and I heard Guard's going to win the singles, so
I agree.
So what do you guys think's the one armies or the couple armies right now that are just struggling in the meta and cannot find a footing even though the seam's wide open?
Even though they just won an event, Death Guard.
Again, depending on, man, if you, especially in player plays is really hard for them, just because you can just sit at 17 and a half inches and just shoot them in the face. They've got good tough, they got a good toughness, they got a good save, but like you still miss. Someone just puts a volume, like Tom takes his Guard and just bombs you for 3 turns. You fail, even if it's a 2-up, man, and you're going to be taking a shit ton of 4-ups. You know what I mean? So like, you can just outrange them for so much. Now, again, I hate going back to it, but like on GW terrain, I think they have a lot more play. And if you're doing GW set 2, I don't even know if you can win if you're playing GW set 1 though, because that's with everything in the open basically. You just stand there and just get Rochambeau'd for 5 turns.
Mr. Robert Baker, we salute you for bringing a friend to MCM and supporting us.
Most appreciated.
The 2v2 rules, I will talk to the TO for that. We will get expect the player packets for both events to be released probably last week of this month. I've seen the beta for both of them. So doing good work. But expect that probably the last week or the week before that. So we're not too far away from it. You'll see the players back. As of I've known for the 1K points, it's more of like an adept kind of thing where they have like a special detachment. But they were working that players pack before we really seen Arcs of Omen, because that's how long they've been working on it, and they haven't really done much the last month or two. So I'm not sure, but it'll be answered soon.
So I got a couple things on that. I want to go with Eloise on. She goes, sisters having a tough time in this particular meta, and I would actually say that I disagree and agree at the same time. If guard didn't exist, I think that sisters would have a much better time into the meta. But the fact that their T3 and mortars exist, for one, they can just put so much damage on you. So I agree that they have some shit matchups.
I think Eldar has a bad matchup in the guard as well.
No, any of the T3s. Dude, if you take 9 mortars, you could be an asshole and just literally go, I'm going to fire 1 mortar into each squad and just ping you away. And just, what are they going to do about it? They either make a 4 or 5 up. You know what I mean? They're T3 with a bad save. You don't, unless you just go in reserve and YOLO swaggins, into them, it's just a really tough game. That guard match is rough.
Toughness for non-Marines also struggle when it gets to guards, mortars, because the mortars are 5 now.
Yeah, well, the one of them is going to be strength 6. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I'm not running Creed, so after her nerf,
you're just saying screw it.
Took her out.
I could see that. I still just want
real ones. Horseboy?
My what?
Running Horseboy?
Solar.
He's so included. Like, knows every order. Like, if I don't have to have a commissar, and I can still look at my guards and be like, by the way, ignore deep strikes, run forward, and then Demon's like, oh, this sucks. These Cadian guys like prevent my whole army from doing anything. Like, he's so good. Like, Leo is like, he needs to go up in points. Like, I'm saying it right now, he needs to go up in points. Speaking of which, real quick on guard, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brad. How do you feel about the very oppressive guard nerf?
Oh, fuck off. They were like, hey, man, sometimes when you're playing guard, just do whatever you want. I'm like, oh, cool. Glad you cleared that up.
It was such an oppressive nerf that I don't even know if I can run guard at this moment. Like, man, like, I don't know what.
All right, somebody mute Tom.
Yeah. I'm kicking him out of this here.
Tom, mute yourself, would you? All right.
I can't believe that they didn't do anything.
The only armies that I've seen like have massive struggle so far, even though they won one event over the last couple weeks, was AdMech. I just think that they don't have the right tools at the moment for what they need.
Their damage is so real, though, depending on what you play on.
I can't agree with that. I think AdMech in our hands are dangerous. It's just nobody. I think everyone
just haven't seen it yet.
Everyone who was playing it was good, sold their armies or gave it away like me, and it's too expensive an army to pick back up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, AdMech's the most expensive army in the game, so to buy. But they have like ludicrous damage still. I mean, most of their nerfs, I think almost all of the nerfs, except for some of the point nerfs, got retconned basically. So yeah, I would say AdMech beat Crawley this weekend. And the thing is that if you take them lightly, they still can just put the pain on you. Whew.
Yeah,
again, I don't think they're a bad army. I think they're the one underperforming right now.
I can give you that. Well, they have to. There's so many interactions that it's really difficult to play that army also.
I agree with you, Kara. AdMech, I'm sorry, is like GSC. You got to be good to win. I don't think you have to be good with GSC to win, but you have to be good to be great with them and to win like major events and stuff like that. Where AdMech, you have to be good with them just to perform. But when you know them and you perform well, they're like super dangerous.
Robert, are you guys implying my AdMech-based Drukari conversion plan was a bad idea monetarily? No, I think it's a colossally terrible idea monetarily. It's
actually, it might be a great idea because you just walk into an event and people are like, that dude's got money. I'll make him my friend.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to go for most expensive army, Jesus.
That dude bought the most expensive army to convert it into the worst performing army right now. That dude's got bank. That dude's got game.
Ooh, dude. Oh my God, doing those conversions too. So you're doing basically 2-for-1s. Oh.
Listen, you need to get Robert on one of your Thursday shows. Just show off that army. Just put him on it. Like, this is my army, and we just spent a whole hour talking about it.
He's like, look, I mean, AdMech Drukari conversions. For my next army, I'm just sculpting everything out of gold. He's like, I actually
that may be cheaper
mold, and then I melt down 24-karat gold and pour it into there. And then I paint over them just to rub it in your guys' face. You can't even see the gold, but I know the gold's there.
Then he does non-metallic gold over it. Well, you scratch off the paint and it's just more gold. He's like, it's paint inception, bitch.
Yeah. Well, guys, we hit the 8:01 mark, so Brad and Brian, lead us into our final thoughts about the Meta House Wide Open. And let's come up with, let's think of something funny here. Come up with one good tidbit, either funny or serious, to leave our viewers with.
GW, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Just don't touch anything. And we'll probably be fine, to be honest.
All right.
Let the meta fix itself.
Yeah. Brad's saying the meta is super healthy. And what are you saying, Brad?
Just let the meta fix itself. I don't think it needs any corrections right now.
Alrighty. And on that, I just want to say thank you everyone for watching us. We had fun. And hope to see you guys this Thursday. Brian and Brad, what are you guys talking about this Thursday?
Okay, we were trying to get Matt on, which makes me sad that he couldn't come on because he's in Guam somewhere. But we are going to talk about... We've just actually, you know what? I need people to see the thumbnail. So just look at... That's what we're talking about. Look at the thumbnail. It'll be shows, 40K stuff, and a few other things. So...
And like Ann said, like us before you leave, please, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. And my tidbit is that guards went up to 10. On that note, see you guys later.